Hello, so today's pick a card reading is going to be messages during Venus retrograde. At the time of me filming this, we are in Venus retrograde, but even if you see this at another time, you can still apply the messages to whatever you're going through at that time, because all of my readings on YouTube have the intention of being timeless. So let's jump on in. These are the decks I will be working with today. Let's go ahead and pick your card. Over here is card 1, here is card 2, and then over here is card 3. You can pause this if you need to make your selection. Let your intuition do the picking. Hello, card 1. Let's go ahead and see what your first message is during Venus retrograde. This is the Muse Tarot. Remember, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and release what doesn't. You can book a personal reading with me on my website. That information is down below in the description. Card 1, your first message is the Two of Inspiration, also known as the Two of Wands. So during this Venus retrograde, it's key to still keep a little bit of distance. Observe from a distance. You don't want to jump back into anything or be impulsive with your actions, because during this time you can be a little bit more emotional. I get the feeling of online lurking vibe, so maybe you're trying to see what someone else is doing online, checking in on with social media and things like that, or maybe somebody is doing that towards you, or both. But Spirit is saying it's still better to kind of observe from a distance and not jump right back into anything or be impulsive, and to remember that you do have options within this, and that's why it's probably better to just slow down and work through some of these emotions, because I am seeing the Three of Voices, which is the Three of Swords. So this Venus retrograde, or whenever you happen to be seeing this, you may be going through a period of time where you're still experiencing some energy of grief, some sadness, or maybe you're feeling more alone or just extra emotional. It's okay to let those tears fall. Remember, when one door closes and another one opens, that kind of energy is what you need to remember. Also, Spirit is saying to maybe try to flip your perspective, because sometimes even though rejection may be hard, ultimately it's a protection for you. We also have the Page of Voices, which is the Page of Swords. So again, how can you flip your perspective on this and begin to be inquisitive about what did you learn from this? There may be things that you didn't see that ultimately the universe is protecting you from if you were to remain in a certain situation as time went on. And it's time to embrace new ideas, is what Spirit is saying. New ways of looking at things. My eyes are drawn to these glasses. So seeing things through a different lens during this Venus retrograde is going to be really, really important. But let's see what else Spirit has to say. This is the Wandering Heart deck. Card 1, what do you need to know during this Venus retrograde? Truth be told. Evil Eye. So going back to that energy of kind of online lurking, that's still kind of happening, the feeling I get. So this could be you either knowingly or unknowingly projecting this to someone else and what they have going on in their situation. So if it's you, you can use, I was talking to a friend a while ago, and there is a way to use jealousy in a way that can be positive, meaning it's showing you the energy of something you desire. Maybe not that specific thing, because you need to have what's for you and what's for others is for them. But it's kind of showing, like, let's say you're jealous of someone's, what their relationship looks like to you online. It's indicating something that you want. Use that as fuel to manifest what's for you, but don't hate on somebody else's situation in terms of what's for them. Does that make sense? So kind of flip that. Now this could also be that somebody is projecting that evil eye energy towards you and what you have going on. So keep that in mind. So then we have the message here of miscarriage. This is giving the energy of loss, something that you thought was growing, that you cared about, that you were nurturing, and then it was lost. So you're still going through grief during this Venus retrograde. Now, for some of you, you or a loved one may have actually experienced a miscarriage in terms of the physical sense, and others of you, this is more symbolic in terms of something that you loved and were trying to create a life that was lost. Even if it's the idea of a certain life that you thought you were building that was lost, you're going through that grief during this Venus retrograde. And again, it's okay to let those tears fall. You see how there's a theme here of that. It's purging, it's cleansing. And Spirit is saying to fall back. Remember that message of needing to observe from a distance and not jump into anything or be impulsive because of your emotions. Remember that message during this time. And again, it's time to see things through different lenses, even though things may have been difficult for you. So let's get a self-care message for you, especially for this group card one. Okay. Look for fairies is your message. And on the other side of that, we have rest. So allow yourself time to rest. So fairies, some of you may actually have a connection to fairies and actually be able to see them. But fairies are also a representation of like help and guidance. So maybe look to your spirit guides, your ancestors, or even people in your life that can help guide you and be there for you during this time. You don't have to do it alone. Fairies are also representations of organization and getting things together. So maybe using this time to get back to the drawing board and reorganize some things about your life or your perspective. So that's why I see card one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Comment below how it's speaking to you, and like this video, subscribe to my channel. And if you choose to, you could always tip by buying me a coffee. The information on where you can go to do that is down below in the description, and I will talk to you another time. Bye, card one. Hi, card two. Let's go ahead and see what messages are coming through for you during Venus retrograde. This is the Muse Tarot. Remember, this is general reading. Take what resonates, release what doesn't. If you would like to book a personal reading, you can do that on my website. That information is down below in the description. Okay, card two. We have the Ace of Inspiration, which is the Ace of Wands. Spirit is saying use your emotions as fuel to create, to manifest, to remember your power and your magic and get things flowing during this Venus retrograde. Your intuition may be very strong during this time, and you may be receiving some very clear answers coming from source. And right now, you have some stored emotions that now need to be used. I'm being drawn to this cactus, and cactuses store water even in a desert. So even though around you, you may feel like things have not been flowing, this is indicating that there is still some emotions, some fuel, some flow that's been stored within you. And now you're gonna have to harness that and use that to create, to manifest, to remember that you are the only one who can move the direction that your life is headed during this time. No one else, nothing outside of you. It's you that is responsible to get things flowing, to get these things moving. If you have been wanting to date again, this is a sign to go ahead and get back out there and start dating again. If you're already in a relationship, marriage, things of that nature, this is a good sign to go ahead and maybe get things flowing again, maybe get back to date nights or do something romantic again. And if you have no desire to date, are not in a relationship or a situationship or marriage, and you're just, it's just you and all you want is to focus on you, that's fine too. You can use this to channel that energy into self-love and finding things that you're passionate about, and then putting that energy towards those passions, those manifestations as well during Venus retrograde. But let's see what else Spirit has to say for you, card two. Harness your power. Basically, we have the Moon, And we have the Ten of Materials, also known as the Ten of Pentacles. So during this Venus retrograde, this is really giving the energy just of like making goals happen, releasing the past, remembering that just as in life, we go through different phases like the moon does. You may also want to be mindful of the phases of the moon as periods of time on when you want to do your spell work or manifestations to help enhance, even though I don't think you have to follow certain rules with that in terms of timing. You can do it when you feel called to do so, but that may help. If you are someone who has a menstrual cycle, you may be very powerful during that time, if you're having that during Venus retrograde, to both cleanse emotions that need to be released, to let those go, and then also using that energy after to let go to manifest the newness, what you want to replace. But during this Venus retrograde, I feel like a lot of a focus is on family or community or tribe, and also what you're leaving behind. Wanting to continue to grow a life that is beautiful that you're experiencing, but also leaving behind legacy, and also feeling very supported, nurtured, cared for, stable. There's this energy of creating a life for yourself, or a life for you and your family, or a life for you and your partner, in terms of one that you no longer have to struggle within when it comes to like the material things, is what I feel is Venus retrograde is bringing, that emotion and that desire for that during this time. I really feel like this is a good sign that the steps that you take during this time can lead towards that, in that direction, especially in the way of financial abundance increasing. And it's not going to be quickly. I feel like slow growth, and it's not going to be you doing it all on your own. Help is going to be needed, but I feel like it can get there, is a message of what you need to know. But let's see what else Spirit has to say. Card 2 with the Wandering Heart Oracle deck. Autopilot. Some of you are just naturally good with knowing how to do spell work and manifestation work, and it just happens automatically for you. For others of you, you've been practicing it so much that now it's beginning to get to that point. But also, the other message I'm getting from this, as with closing the old chapter, being drawn to that number 9, closing a chapter and releasing, maybe you've been on autopilot for so long that you didn't realize that something was still bothering you, or you didn't really see that a solution was needed in an area that you were overlooking. Okay. Spiciness. Okay, so this is getting back to that message of passion. I don't know if YouTube will let me say this word, but the big O, let's put it that way. So some of you need a release. That theme of release, but also pleasure. Needing to do something that allows yourself to enjoy pleasure, whether this is by yourself, whether this is with a partner, whether it's actually just doing something innocent that's pleasurable but allows some sort of release, or whether this is more in terms of like a sensual act. Remember that you can do sensual magic. Instead of just enjoying a big O, give it an attention. That will help you to manifest, going perfectly with this Ace of Inspiration, Ace of Wands energy. You can use it for spell work. Preferably, if you're not in a healthy, balanced relationship with someone who's like-minded, then you want to do this on your own. But if you're in a partnership that can, that is like-minded and they're basically owning their power and aware of manifestation and how it works, then you can do it with them too. Just recommendations. And then we also have the message of kin, going perfectly with the Ten of Materials, Ten of Pentacles message we were talking about. Focus on family or community or tribe, however this is resonating with you. But this is a need to really spend some time with those you love and care about. It's a time to cherish these moments, because time moves fast. It moves fast, and how you live your life it's like you want your life to be remembered in a way that, like I was speaking of before, leaves legacy, but you also want your life to be an example to others. You know what I mean? You want to be proud of the life you live and how those within your community view it. And this is why some of this change is taking place and needed. And just having fun, enjoying time with those you care about, quality time, getting out and about, or even at home. You know, that's the vibe I'm getting from this. Some of you may actually want to like have a bonfire or go camping or plan for that. Let's see what else Spirit has to say. Let's get a self-care message for you. Card 2. Connect with the earth. What did I just say? Have a bonfire or go camping or something similar to that energy. And connecting with the earth is going to be something that is needed to help ground you during this Venus retrograde. And spend time with friends. These are all in alignment. So I love this for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this message. Comment below how it's resonating with you. Like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to. And if you choose to, you could always tip by buying me a coffee. The information on where you can go to do that is down below in the description. And I will talk to you another time. Bye, card 2. Hi, card 3. Let's go ahead and see what messages are coming through for you during Venus retrograde. This is the Muse Tarot. Remember, this is a general reading, so take what resonates, release what doesn't. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website. That information is down below in the description. All right, card 3. The 6 of Emotions, also known as the 6 of Cups. Lots of nostalgia and looking to the past is coming up. Like those emotions from the past are coming up. This could be in dreams, maybe things that happened to you in childhood or memories. This could be things that wanting to connect to things that you love or did love as a child. Inner child play is coming up. Inner child healing is coming up. Some of you are watching children grow up or a child in your life grow up, and you just want to soak up all that quality time every single moment and enjoying that energy with that child. That is coming through as well. Some of you have a desire to reconnect, whether that's reconnecting to a person or someone wanting to reconnect with you, whether it's wanting to reconnect to an old feeling, an old hobby. Maybe it's wanting to reconnect with a group of people, maybe family or friends or just anyone you haven't seen in a long time and they've been on your mind. That is coming up too. Venus retrograde is bringing it up. But what I'm really getting is from this is it is time to get back to that childlike joy. And yes, there is some inner child healing that is happening. Maybe you are healing something that is being brought up to you emotionally that was you didn't realize bothered you as a child, or maybe you did realize it bothered you and you're working through that healing. That is coming through. Working on yourself so that you don't pass things down to your children. You don't pass that trauma down to your children is also a theme for some of you. But let's see what else Spirit has to say. 2 of Materials and the Page of Voices. So the 2 of Materials. So this came up in another pile, card 3. So you may also want to watch, I believe it was pile 1. You may also want to watch pile 1. Okay, so the 2 of Materials, also known as the 2 of Pentacles, is coming up. So card 3, you're still juggling a lot. Spirit is saying that it's like you've been going back and forth between worlds is what I'm hearing in this case. You've been going back and forth between the past and the now. Or maybe you're going back and forth between the past and the future. Or maybe you're going back and forth between right now and where you want things to go in the future. But either way, you've been going back and forth. And what Spirit is saying is kind of center that a little bit, because the past is gone. You can only learn from it. And the future's not here yet. All you have is right now. So how can you use right now to reorganize, reevaluate where your focus is, and focus on one thing at a time. It's not a time to do a whole lot of multitasking. Focus on one thing at a time. It's also a good time to weigh the pros and cons of something and to consider the options, because Spirit wants you to know that you do have options. What I'm also seeing here with the Page of Voices, also known as the Page of Swords, is still that energy of, I'm saying still the energy because this is what I mentioned in the pile one, but seeing things from a new perspective with a different lens, being inquisitive, especially with that, you know how children are so inquisitive and curious. It's getting back to that place of curiosity. Curiosity about yourself, why you do things, why you're drawn to certain things, curiosity to learn, curiosity to explore new knowledge, new hobbies, new ways of getting back to figuring out what you like, what you're about, what you enjoy. These are some of the energies I'm getting when it comes to Venus retrograde. And you may even want to ask questions of others in order to figure out what you want to do or what's best for you to do next. You may need to ask some questions. So go ahead and do that as well. And I get the energy of communication and somebody reaching out. I don't know if it's you reaching out or somebody else reaching out, but I really get the energy of like, you know what, it's time to just hear it straight from the horse's mouth, as they say, meaning ask them directly or answer directly if they're asking you something, if that makes sense. But let's see what else Spirit has to say. Card 3. This is the Wandering Heart deck. What else do you need to know during Venus retrograde? Heads up. Source. And the Fool. Oh, there we go. Okay. What I'm hearing Spirit talking about is that you need to let something go. Something needs to be sacrificed. Something is being removed. If you don't let go of carrying too much, then it may be removed for you, whether you're ready for it or not. So that's something I'm also getting. Maybe that's going back to this juggling energy of holding on to too much. But the heads up, I feel, is like, Spirit is like, heads up, something is about to be let go, removed. So keep that in mind. Whether it's a way of thinking, a perspective, whether it's a change in how you handle things, whether it's something else being removed from your life, a relationship, an opportunity, whatever it is, keep that in mind. It's going to be different things for different people. Also, I'm seeing this heads up also as a message to hold your head high during these changes, to move with grace, meaning try going back to the message, seeing things from a different perspective and different lens, trying to handle yourself with courage and strength during this time. And Spirit is saying, you know what? You deserve your flowers now. And so celebrate the small victories, the big victories, whatever it is, you're making progress. And so hold your head up high. But also the message here of Source. Source is giving birth to something new for you. Some of you may be creating new life, whether that's in a physical sense or somebody else in your life that's doing so that impacts you, or some of you, this is more in a symbolic sense, but definitely the energy of being pregnant with change, definitely the energy of being pregnant with new life, new experiences. And Source is helping you throughout this journey. Again, going back to the message of making change, healing something so that you do not pass it down to your children or future generations. Breaking generational curses is something that is coming through. Healing generational trauma is something that is coming through during this time. Giving birth to a whole new vibe. And also focusing on self. We have the number 1, taking it one step at a time, one day at a time. And then over here we have the Fool. So even though there may have been times that you felt foolish in the past, you're learning from those experiences. But if you keep, it's kind of like fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you. And in this case, fool me 3 times, all right, you're just plain foolish. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. Not to sound so harsh, but look back to, yes, you may have been foolish or naive in the past. You didn't know what you didn't know, but now that you do know, do better this time around and forgive yourself. Show yourself some grace. Hold your head up. You can create this new change when you see things from a new and different lens. You can see all the opportunities, all of the ways that your life can be better now, starting fresh. Now that something is being let go, released, that was not serving you or just was not meant to stick around. So let it go and, have fun. Some of you may also be looking back to the past and almost laughing at how silly something was. Like, you can laugh at it now. You can laugh at it now. Some of you may be noticing how other people may be acting a bit foolish or clown-like during this time. And so maybe keeping a little bit of distance from that so that you don't fall back into old habits, old ways. But you're learning. I feel like you're learning. I feel like it's getting back to a place of now needing to get back to some joy, some fun. Not taking life so seriously in the negative sense. Like, you want to take your life seriously and cherish it. Yes, you want to be intentional, but you also don't want to be too extremely serious to where it's more on the imbalance and unhealthy side of things. You want to get back to enjoying some life. Spend time with friends is your self-care message during this Venus retrograde. Card 3. Friends, family, loved ones, and sync with the moon is also coming up. So you may be realizing that there's a pattern that is happening just as life with the phases of the moon. You may be noticing a pattern in your life that is also going along with the phases of the moon. For example, things being released during a full moon and new things coming into your life during a new moon. That may be an example, but if it resonates, it resonates. Some of you, if you have a menstrual cycle, you may be noticing it's syncing with the moon during this time, and you're very powerful during this time. And also syncing with the moon, meaning syncing with your own intuition and syncing with your divine feminine energy. And embracing the unknown. It's okay to not have all the answers right now. You're being led on this journey, and the way that you're being led on this journey for a reason. So that is what I see as far as messages for you, card 3, during this Venus retrograde. Comment below how it's resonating with you. Like this video, subscribe to my channel if you choose to. And if you want to, you could always tip by buying me a coffee. The information on where you can go to do that is down below in the description. And I will talk to you another time. Bye, card 3.